Hello. Hi.
Hello.
It is the 25th of
25th.
April, which makes it day 36 of lockdown. 36 days, guys.
This is our lives now. We've been doing it for a month.
Yeah. Oh, well over.
And those of us who aren't in the Facebook groups like Stop the Lockdown,
oh God,
all the
yeah.
flat earthers over there in those groups, and it's crazy.
One thing that is good
Conspiracy
about
theorists.
this whole thing is all the flat earthers and the anti-vaxxers and the now disinfectant drinkers are all just going to get together and flout lockdown rules, and hopefully if anybody's going to get it, it's going to be them first.
They can develop a herd immunity, can't they?
Yeah, let's go for it. I don't wish this illness on anyone, but if people do deliberately just go, this is bullshit, and then just flout it and then they get ill, then serves them fucking right.
Yeah, it's not like they've not been warned.
I don't want them to get very sick, but if they get a nasty bit of pneumonia and learn their lessons, then good. Let's just wish for some people to learn some lessons, because they weren't paying enough attention in GCSE science, were they? Anyway, that's just gone on a weird little shouty tangent already, but there we go. So hi guys, don't know about you, but we've had a good day. I think I don't know why I said that with such sort of fear in my eyes. Have we had a good day?
I've had a good day. Yes, I'll tell you if you've had a good day or not. I don't know what that.
Yeah, I don't know why I looked. Have we had a good day, sir?
I'm broadly fine to her off camera, honestly.
I'll keep blinking and you just pay attention to how many times I blink, right? I know Morse code. I don't know Morse code. It's fine. No, he's very nice to me off camera. I'm just not nice to him. I am. I think I'm nice to you, right?
I'm more preoccupied with the fact that when we do that, when we film this, like we use the selfie camera, which is not the best quality camera on a phone, but we're not very professional, and it's easier for us to kind of sort of see what we're doing, I think, than to just be looking at the back of a phone and hoping
I think
for
the
best.
risk would be we would sit here and talk for half an hour at a phone and then realise the whole time it wasn't recording. So we need to be able to see the bit that's telling us if it's doing stuff or not. And
it's sort of, but it does mean that sometimes, just the first time I really sort of look at myself all day, I haven't really been taking advantage of the mirrors in the house, but my hair is getting quite locked down shaggy now, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we have talked about, we jokingly talked about me cutting it at the start of lockdown. But the longer lockdown's gone on, the more that's become not actually a joke. But the longer and wavier and more lustrous your hair has become, the more I am disinclined to cut it. But I will acknowledge at some point it's going to need something done to it. But
when it does, I think we need to do something dramatic.
Oh, like what? I'm not shaving it off.
No, but like a cut and a dye or something. You've got dyes, haven't you?
I don't actually.
Okay.
Well, I could put like a tone of colour over it, but most of my dyes only really work if you've bleached it underneath, and I don't have any bleach.
We order some bleach off Amazon.
Yeah, I'm not bleaching your hair. I'll ruin it. Your hair's so nice. Don't do that.
I just want to do something mad as well. I don't have to leave the house.
Okay, well, maybe we'll have a chat about what mad things you can do to your hair. But I don't want to do.
Tried to look. I've got like a shirt with a collar. I'm looking relatively smart, I think, this evening for the vlog. But I'm also doing the classic lockdown thing. I'm wearing tracksuit bottoms.
You could have told them that you were just naked from the waist down, which is the idea that you have liked to suggest that has been happening for a while.
No, I made an effort this evening. I've put some trousers on.
Yep.
But they are like Adidas trackies, like a kid from the 90s.
Yep. They're not the like Kappa ones that you could pop off though, which are my favourite tracksuit bottoms from the 90s. They were awful, but they were amusing.
Never really understood the point of those.
I think they would literally, I can sort of see the point of them for Olympic athletes to just go, right, ready to run. But for actual normal people going about their daily business, particularly teenagers who go to school, trousers that you can just rip off at a moment's notice seems like a bad plan.
Well, also...
Because people did rip them off at a moment's notice, at the worst possible time for it to be you, for it to happen to.
But they also...
That happened to me. Did that happen to you?
Well, they sort of changed them then, because they had the
they kept them done up at the top.
Yeah, so they probably went all around the side of the leg. Yeah, and that's even more pointless. There's no... Even the athletes are going, well, there's no point in these.
Yeah.
Do they still make those? Is that still a thing?
I don't know.
it feels
You're
like,
asking the wrong
feels
person.
like a fashion
Do
thing
I
that-
look like I give a shit about
There's a lot of
sportswear?
fashion I'm given to understand. I don't know a lot about it, but I'm given to understand that a lot of fashion is kind of cyclical when things come back
Yeah.
in style, and I feel like that one's not going to come back around. Like maybe some things just get quietly dropped.
Well, I don't
Like
know.
when-
Maybe they were inspired
kind
by
of-
like Bucks Fizz in the 80s.
When
with
kind
that,
of
they
late
just have-
90s fashion comes back in, like maybe that will just be like, oh, okay, we're doing a lot of the late 90s, we'll just quiet, we'll just do the three
Yeah. Maybe we'll do
striped
the Alice
Adidas
bands
trackies, but we
and
won't
the
do the
like
proper.
sportswear Mel C type malarkey, but we won't actually do the trousers that just people you don't know can take them off by just grabbing them.
There you go.
Seems like a bad idea.
Bit of fashion chat from a position of ignorance. You're welcome.
Oh, I wish we were all in a position of ignorance when it comes to Kappa Popper trousers, though. Like, bullshit. They were awful. But yeah, this is coming from a slightly traumatized space because I was one of the people who's, like, literally, one of the boys, there were many boys, a boy, I don't know which boy did this to me, but on the, like, my high school was also doubled up as a leisure centre, so it had like quite good sports facilities because it was a shit school, but it had like a really good sort of gym and swimming
Classrooms
pool.
are on the squash course though, so it's
Well, the drama studio
Very
was the
echoey.
school hall, so during like exam periods we had to just sit outside. That's how I went to university to study drama, considering the fact that like for quite big chunks of my schooling there wasn't a drama classroom. That's pretty good going, I think. But anyway, so there was a Red Gra, like a proper racetrack, which was called the Red Gra, and I'm not even sure what a Gra is, but it was the Red Gra. And I was wearing my stupid Kappa trousers, and one of the boys on like doing like circuits, I think he had a bike actually. I think it was people doing circuits on their bikes. Just came past me and grabbed my trousers as he drove past. And there was a ledge, not a ledge, like a ditch on the other side, which was actually where the like main drive to the school was. So he just went past me, pulled my trousers off, and threw them down onto the ditch. So I was standing there in a small pair of white cotton pants and a gym top, and essentially just horrified, and nobody, including the teacher who was there to
Quite the
witness this
image.
happen. Well, I hope so, because it was traumatizing. But like literally nobody did or said, like, because it wasn't. You'd imagine everybody turns to you and like points and laughs and goes, ha 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 ha. But everybody just kind of went, oh, that's happened. And then I just had to sort of like stumble down the ditch and grab my trousers and put them back on,
you
and
still got
nobody
that?
gave a shit.
we still got that gym top.
I doubt it.
We've still got those white cotton panties.
I was about 12 at the time,
Oh,
mate.
wow.
You might not want to be thinking about that too hard.
Well,
No, it was probably
I
about
was imagining
14
you
or
were-
15, but yeah. No, I do think I fit into the tops that I fit into at school. I was not such an amply packed lady at the time.
packed. Glad I wasn't the one who said that, because that is not. Oh,
Yeah, no, you wouldn't have got away with
hey
that.
lads, you should see this girl I'm seeing. She's packed.
She was well packed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, oh dear God, no, I was a tiny little waif of a nothing back then, but yeah, stayed short, got big. That's what happened there. But anyway, right, that went somewhere strange. So, what the fuck were we talking about?
Let's talk about Preeti Patel.
Do we have to?
Yes, we do.
Well, we can talk about how much I hate her, but we've covered that.
Yeah,
But
but she's done something. I mean, she was hosting. Is
Hosting.
hosting the right word? Presenting.
no, that's still not the right
Sharing.
word. She was
Reading.
the sacrifice presented up to the British public in yesterday's, or possibly today's, press conference. I think it was yesterday's though, actually, when
Was
she
it
said
today's?
this.
Who knows? I mean, we got up quite late.
I saw it today. I'm not sure if she said it today or if she said it yesterday, because, as you say, we sort of get the headlines, but we're not sure if they're from that day or the day before, because they all blur into one. But it was a good one. It was remarkably stupid. Like, we're not talking Donald Trump stupid, but we're talking, normal stupid. But yeah, it was a clanger. It was quite a fun one, really. It was today's. Right, grim warning. The thing that she announced was that we have exceeded the 20,000 deaths milestone, which less than a month ago, they announced that was if they could stay below that, then that would be a good result. And they thought that would be overall through COVID, like ever. And they've done it in less than a month. So Priti Patel tried, bless her heart, she tried to come across like somebody capable of empathy. And she said the nation mourns for those 20,000 people. They do, you don't. You're a fucking automaton, you don't have feelings. But anyway, she said that. And then the nice little bit of spin that she put on it was some other stuff that's going on. So she, admittedly, she didn't do this in the same breath because she's cleverer than that. But when they're talking about sort of how the world is adjusted and how Britain is coping with the change in everything, one of the positive spins that she tried to put on, and I shouldn't laugh because it's not funny because it's tragic, but this is where we're at. One of the things that she wanted to sort of spin as a positive for the kind of Britain that we're looking at today was, hey guys, well done. One of the good things that we can take away from this is when we've been looking and talking to the Office of National Statistics is that shoplifting is way down. All the shops are shut pretty, and all the ones that are open have got social distancing measures and massive amounts of security. You fucking idiot. So yeah, shoplifting's down. So are pub fights. And
yes, pub fights. I imagine little old ladies are having less of their bags snatched.
Yeah, no buggins
all
happening.
the little old ladies are stuck indoors. So
well done, Pretty.
Swings and roundabouts, isn't it? It's,
Jesus Christ, like,
you know,
what level of idiocy do they think we're all at? But I bet there are people out there going, hey, swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
I'm all for celebrating
Crime's
the
down.
small victories, but
you can't celebrate shoplifting being down when all of the shops have been ordered to shut. They're not open, so of course shoplifting is down, you massive idiot. Yes, like, you can't, and she's not an idiot, she's a very bright woman. She knows full well what she's doing. She's just going, oh, loads of people are dying. Silver lining. Some people are stealing less of other people's stuff.
Less people drinking heavily and then throwing up in town centres.
Yep.
Less of that.
Yeah, street cleaners have got a lot less. I was about to say something quite grim. No, sorry. It is grim, but it's not grim comparative to what I've just said, which is 20,000 people are dead, and that's only the people that have died in hospitals. One of the sort of throwaway remarks I was going to make about the streets not needing to be cleaned because people aren't out and about in them is that pigeons are starving to death, so there'll be loads of dead pigeons to just sweep up. Yeah,
that's new information to me.
Pigeons and seagulls really struggling.
Oh god.
Because they rely on people dropping food and stuff, and we're not out and about. So yeah. Yeah, sorry to be the one to break that to you. It is grim.
So it swings around. So all the kind of talks of like wild hogs returning to the streets of Venice and sheep.
Well, I think it was like dolphins coming back to the canals of Venice rather than
right,
wild
I
hogs.
don't know. I'm mixing different stories. But the point is, there's been some quite nice stories about animals returning to sort of.
Well, to be fair, pigeons were originally not so rife as they are now. Pigeons were cliff top species, and we've made lots of artificial cliffs by having big tall buildings, and so that they can sort of nest on thin little edges and nest where other birds can't, and that's where they've done well, and they've done very well out of sort of us post-industrial revolution because we've built lots of artificial cliffs for them and we dropped lots of food, so that's why pigeons are sort of exceeding so very well. But actually at the moment they are, well, nobody gives a shit apparently because they are technically considered vermin, because that's why we've got like anti-bird spikes on everything. But ultimately we have bred them all to be there. We have fed them and we have bred them and we have tried to discourage them, but they are now starving to death.
Yeah, they're not malicious. They've kind of thrived off a situation that we've created. And we used to feed them, that was a tourist attraction.
Yeah,
for
well,
years
down in
London.
Trafalgar Square, you used to be able to sort of get the bird seed and attract them to you. What they actually, the similar thing happened because they banned that, and then in London they had lots of sickly, starveling pigeons for a while, and it was pretty grim. But the rule was you couldn't feed them, and I think they just quietly just made a good job of clearing away the bodies. We didn't even plan to talk about that. That's just taken
Pigeon-ageddon.
Pigeon.
Pigeon-ageddon? Okay. Yeah.
So that's a weird, grim side effect to everything that's going on. But, maybe that means that... no, that was also... my brain keeps going to grim places. I was going to say, oh yeah, all the other vermin's probably going to starve too. Less rats, less mice,
Some of them are going to starve. Some of them are still getting brought in by our cats, so it's...
Yeah, they're finding them somewhere. The suburbs, rats and mice are probably fine because people are still about and they're still putting stuff in bins. But it's more like your proper urban vermin are probably going to be struggling.
City centre vermin.
Yeah, urban
Nightclub vermin.
Right. So, if we're talking about vermin and sort of pests and things, then maybe it's a good little segue into talking about a nice little...
Lorna's radio show.
That wasn't what I was gonna...
Oh, I see. Sorry,
that was me.
Misunderstood
what
where
you
you were
did
going
then.
with
No, what? You did not think I was going into Lorna's radio show. All right, I'll teach you a lesson. I will talk about Lorna's radio show
I don't know how
instead.
that's teaching me a lesson.
I was going to go into a thing about something else, but actually for about 4 days now I have put on my little notes something that I really wanted to mention, and then we've not got around to it. So actually I'm just going to, without a segue. It would have been a nice stylish little segue, but you denied me that, so screw you. Our friend Lorna Pritchard is a stand-up comic. She also rather interestingly has a neural condition called synesthesia. Which I do know a few people who know of, and one or two other people who have it. If you don't know what it is, synesthesia can sort of present in slightly different ways, but it basically means when two or more senses are kind of tied in together. So that would, in Lorna's example, you might hear a word or read a word, and you will have a visual stimulus from it. So she might have colours and textures associated with certain words. Somebody else might have tastes or sounds associated with others. So basically, it's a neural condition. It's very interesting. It's absolutely fascinating, and it's one of those things that it's very, I gather, even from synesthetes. People who have it, very hard to describe, because it's like trying to describe colour to someone who has been blind from birth. Like, you don't have the vocabulary to do it because it's just innate. It's how you process the world, and it just is. But she's been part of the production of a radio show. It's on BBC Sounds. I think when it went up, it was up for 28 days. That was a few days ago, but you've still got about 20 something days left of it. I would highly recommend listening to it. It's really interesting. It's like a 28-minute, half an hour piece, but it's absolutely fascinating. I was absolutely riveted by it, to the extent where, because I know Lorna, I was writing little notes about things I wanted to ask her afterwards, because I was like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's... because that's how cool I am. I am so cool. I write notes to ask my friends about later.
We could probably get her on this to interview her about it if you wanted.
All right, let's find out if Lorna would be up for that.
All right, we could probably get her on speakerphone or something and do it like a little interview.
Yeah, okay. Oh, we could get a little FaceTime up on my iPad, and she could just be there. We could have a little chat. Yes. Well, let's see if she's up for it. But yeah, absolutely fascinating. I believe, and maybe I'm misremembering, but I think we've mentioned actually her a couple of times, Eleanor Allen. I think she has synesthesia.
That's correct, yeah.
So the way it'll present in different people is different, and the thing that I find fascinating, for example, if people have visual synesthesia, so they will see sounds, or they'll see tastes, or whatever, they won't all see them in the same way. So the name of this show is What Colour is Friday? Because it's beautiful. Like, I could go on about this for ages, but actually, if we're going to bring her in to have a chat about it, maybe we'll let her talk about it because
We'll see.
she
I mean,
can
she
do
hasn't
it better.
agreed to this yet. Maybe she'll say, no, I'm not coming on your
Well,
shit. I'm on the BBC now. I'm not coming on your shitty little vlog.
Yeah, she
but
doesn't
we'll
need
see.
to come on this, does she?
We'll ask her. She's,
We'll see how much she's got on.
But
it is fascinating, and I would highly recommend that you listen to it, regardless of whether or not Laura will come and talk to us about it. But I would strongly recommend giving it a listen because it is absolutely fascinating.
Sorry, by the way, I was being very unprofessional during that bit.
There was a cat crawling about underneath.
Yeah, our cat Totem, who generally ignores me and pays me no mind, suddenly decided in the middle of this, right, now's the time I would like some attention and fuss, and has just been letting me kind of stroke him and tickle him and
love.
Yeah, and so I got to take advantage of these moments when they happen. Because as I say, normally he just mews when he wants food, and otherwise ignores me completely. So
yeah,
I've been enjoying giving him a little bit of love. But
so what I was going to go into, my beautiful segue that was ruined by you, because it would have actually been a decent segue.
Yeah, it would.
While we were talking about pests and things, I was going to talk into a nice little bit of slightly bizarre escapism that a lot of people seem to be getting on board with in this current lockdown. If you're unaware of this, this is also fascinating. There is a Facebook group called Where We All Pretend to Be Ants in an Ant Colony. And it is exactly what it says on the tin. About maybe a week, maybe 10 days maximum, but I think about a week ago I joined it, and at that point it had about 400 and something thousand followers, which is already quite a lot for a group on Facebook, which is just where you pretend to be ants. People do literally just pretend to be ants. So people will post, say, a picture of a bit of ice cream that has fallen on the floor, and then they'll say something along the lines of, guys, super fine, help me. And then hundreds of thousands of people will just say things like lift, fetch, carry, work. And everybody just does this. So over the course of about 24 hours, you can look at a fairly innocuous post that might just be a dropped ice lolly, and it'll have 14,000 comments on it, and almost all of them will be lift. And I am so on board with this. It is brilliant. I introduced a few friends to it, and I didn't actually individually introduce it to a few friends. I posted it on my Facebook with a screenshot of a typical post and lots of typical responses. And then loads of people I knew joined, and then I thought, well, people join and they don't really get involved. No, everybody seems to be quite keenly getting involved because it's very easy to. So I will just be scrolling through my Facebook feed and I'll see one of these ant posts, and then I'll see somebody I know who's just gone, work, lift, fetch. And mainly the rules are you work and you lift and you fetch. Sometimes it's hail queen, because you have to hail the queen. And every now and again, there's a couple of people cropping up trying to be a little bit too individual. And then everybody goes bite or attack. So there'll be somebody saying, I don't think the queen is all that, in normal English, because also you all have to talk in block capitals with a space between each letter. Don't know why, that's how ants talk apparently. It's just canon, that's what people have decided. And so then somebody will try to make it all individual, and then hundreds of thousands of people will just reply with bite or attack. And I'm so on board with this, and I don't know why, but it is absolutely what I need in these mental times, because everything is too complicated, so let's just be ant. And I think that's why everybody's got so heartily on board, and everybody's just, yep, I'll just be ant. Ant, yep.
I'm not sure I entirely get it.
I don't think you do. And that's fine. I don't think I entirely get it. I just love it.
I'm interested in the number of kind of splinter groups and different groups that have emerged that are called things like a group where we pretend to be ants run by a left-wing socialist government. And
they're missing the point. They're making it too complicated. They should just be ant.
All right. Fine.
This is what I mean about individualism. You can't be an individual in an ant colony.
Well,
unless you are the queen. And we can't all be queen. Most of us are just ant.
You have to make your own fun in this life, and that's as true now as it ever has been. speaking of fun,
Yes.
a lot of people like me may have noticed that a lot of people are enjoying Animal Crossing at the moment.
Yes, I'm oblivious to this
That-
because I'm not oblivious to the fact that people are enjoying it. I've never played Animal Crossing and I'm fascinated.
I've never played Animal Crossing. It's always been a popular, successful game, Nintendo
It
exclusive
sounds like one
game.
I would love.
I think the idea is it's quite a sort of restful, sort of gentle game where you just kind of have to create your house and decorate it and interact with
Talk to
villagers
other villagers and sort of
buy
quite
things
nice,
and grow
sweet
things
little
and,
homesteady
Yeah.
kind of vibe is what I get from
And
it.
it's one of those ones because it's quite a big successful game. I've never quite really understood. Well, I don't quite know what it. You know, like sometimes you have to try a game to kind of really get a sense of it and go whether this is for me or not. And I've never quite been curious enough to spend sort of 40 quid or whatever it might be. But it does seem like it might be the perfect lockdown game, and it certainly seems to have really taken off more than previous Animal Crossing games, just because everyone's so excited to have this thing to do in lockdown.
Yeah.
And you might, like me, might have seen this and been a little bit jealous of all the people playing it. But I for one do not have 60 quid to sort of drop.
Is it 60 quid?
I looked. I think it was 63 quid the one I
Wow.
saw, and and I have a Switch, which gives me a head start on if you don't own a Switch. But I do not have 60 quid to play Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just sort of because everybody is stuck and has lots of time to kill and not a lot to do with it, and nobody actually, while all of this craziness is going on, people don't feel very productive and feel very energized to get valuable things done. But if they get a game and in a game they can achieve certain goals, it sort of fills in that sense of achievement without actually having to be
To actually achieve
productive
anything.
and creative and achieve anything.
It's quite satisfying when you kind of beat a level on a game, or you
Yeah.
get to the next thing, or you upgrade a weapon, or not there's many weapons in Animal Crossing, but the point. So Animal Crossing has really taken off, but for those of you like me who can't really afford to get on board with the Animal Crossing bandwagon, I've also got a Nintendo Switch, but I've been doing gaming much more on a budget. So recently on here I recommended the action RPG Bastion, which costs less than £3 on Nintendo eShop. I imagine is similarly cheap on kind of Steam or I know it's on PlayStation 4 or wherever you get your games. Equally, another game which is available on Steam and various places, not a Nintendo exclusive, but it cost me less than £5 for the game and its sequel. So it came as a bundle called Lost Phone Stories, and
It does look good.
I think I'm going to try and get Ellie to give this a go because I think she'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I sort of feel like it would feel quite immersive because I think it would feel like you've actually found somebody's lost phone.
So it's not really a game in the traditional sense if your idea of a video game
I've
is
not
like
made
a
that sound
kind of,
very exciting, however, but
a sort of first-person shooter or a platformer or anything like that. But it basically, the premise is you found a lost phone and you're interacting with the interface on that phone, the apps and the messages and the gallery, and it's less a game and more a kind of interactive story with light puzzle elements.
I was
But
going to say
is-
it sounds puzzly
it is a
to
bit
unlock
puzzly.
different bits. So it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to have to find out where they were on this date so that I can find out what email they sent on that day.
And you have to figure out what their passwords
yeah.
are for various things based on clues that are kind of littered throughout the phone. But the stories are actually
What did you
quite
say it was
good and
called?
captivating. As a bundle, it's called Lost Phone Stories. I think the first one is
I'm down
called
with
An
that.
Ordinary Lost Phone, and then the
There's
second
like
one is
an
called
extraordinary lost
No,
phone.
the second one's called Another Lost Phone, Laura's Story. And so you kind of, I think the first one is better than the sequel, but you get them a bit cheaper as a bundle
By the
than to buy them
10th one, it's
individually.
holy
so...
fuck, a lost phone.
Yeah, another fucking lost phone. Why do people keep dropping their fucking phones, guys? And it's a really gripping kind of interactive story. And so if you, like me, are trying to do gaming on a budget and distract yourselves, but don't have sort of 40, 50, 60 quid to drop on a AAA game right now, I'd recommend Bastion. I'd recommend that. And I've just started a game called Golf Story, so I'll tell you how I get on with that.
Story?
So it's like
That does not sound exciting.
it's like a golf video game.
Golf.
Yes, but crossed with like an RPG where there's kind of like a story element.
Golf place role play.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I've only just started. It's got very...
It might be gripping.
I will let you know. I don't know. It could be awful, but I will keep you updated.
Hey man,
That's something to look forward to, isn't it?
Golf doesn't particularly grip me at the best of times. I can't imagine roleplay based around golf is going to excite me.
Well, I don't really like football, but I do enjoy sort of football manager games. Or I don't really like fighting, but I really enjoy Smash Brothers. So...
Smash Brothers isn't fighting though, is it?
Yeah, it is fighting. They hit each other and they shoot each other with weapons.
It's not the same crossover skill set of an actual person who's actually good at fighting is going to enjoy Smash Brothers.
No, but that's the same with like a football game. Like it's not if you're good with your
but you
feet,
don't like
doesn't
football,
mean you're going to be good at FIFA.
But you like the football game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
it's not. You don't have to be good with your feet to enjoy FIFA because it's a whole different skill set.
No, but I sort of feel like you should have to like football to give a damn about like a football game.
I don't like plumbing, but I really like Mario.
It's not about plumbing, though, is it? You don't do any plumbing in Mario.
More's the pity.
Pipe Mania, you do plumbing in that.
And
like,
yeah.
Do you remember Pipe Mania?
I do, and I liked Pipe Mania. I still do not like plumbing in real life. No interest.
Oh, we're running out of time.
Can't drive like Mario Kart.
You can't drive.
That's literally what I just said.
Yeah, I think you said I can't drive like Mario Kart.
I said I can't drive, but I like Mario Kart.
Ah, I thought you said I can't drive like Mario Kart.
Another example.
Well, there we go. Well, that's a really pithy end. Thanks for that.
Not a big fan of royalty. Do like The Legend of Zelda. With Princess Zelda in it, you see?
Yeah, I got it.
I'm just explaining it for people at home, aren't I? There might be people like my parents watching going, what's this Zelda got to do with royalty? They don't know.
You done? Right, we're about to run out of time. So on that pithy end, toodles.
Bye.